Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now let's see what the story is about today. What if you are a married man in the military and was approaching your first deployment in the Middle East? Your wife cheats on you and leaves you for another man, then faces karma that came afterward. Well guys, let's find out all about it in today's story. Also, if you like what I do, please give this video a thumbs up and do subscribe to the channel.
It was very stressful, and it had my wife wanting me to find a way to stay and not deploy. Obvious things any wife would try to talk about. We have no kids, but both want them. So, we talked about getting out of debt while I'm gone. She talks to her best friend back home in another state where we are both from. Her friend agrees to let her move in and charge a modest $300 in rent so that we can get out of debt and start a family when I come back. A plan I was actually very pleased with. The day of the deployment, she is there crying her eyes out, saying she will miss me and loves me and we will start a family when we get back.
Fast forward 2 months and the wife starts acting distant.
Not wanting to talk much on her scheduled calls or text, only 1 or 2 word answers. We've been together for 6 years, and she is never at a loss for words. Anyway, one day she says that she needs some space. She asked someone who is 10,000 miles away for space. I asked her why, and she said that she wants to find herself. So, I remember back when we lived at home, she had a guy who was always being out of line when he was around her. I'm not a very jealous person, and I trust her. Later, I start seeing said guy on basically all her pictures she posts with a group. Every time, he is in the picture. Everyone else changes, but never him.
Now, for the first time, OP is very jealous and uneasy about everything.
So, I clone her phone so I receive every text she receives as well as every text she sends. I'll never forget the first text I saw after cloning her phone. From her to him. "Hey babe, I'll see you after work. Do you want me to save you any of my leftovers?" It destroyed me. I lost 35 pounds in a week. I didn't eat or sleep. I just stared at the phone, watching their every conversation. Watching them talk about trying to have a baby. It was literally everything a married person fears. I ask her if she is seeing someone, and she says no, she isn't. She's taking care of herself and she loves me. Blah, blah. I don't say anything about receiving her texts for 2 months. Over this time, she finally admits to cheating, and that he is so much better than me physically, treating her right, and he does what she wants.
During this time, wife pays off their debt, get tattoos with the other man, like matching I love you tattoos, goes to concerts with him, and buy clothes with the money OP is making. So, this is where the exit plan starts.
I put a freeze on the account for a month. And in that time, I change every password to every account. Things she won't guess. I block her on Facebook and my phone, so she has no way to contact me. She lost her car to repo a few months later, got kicked out of her place, had to sell her prized shoes and purses just to stay alive. I then find out she got a job at her old restaurant. So I post all the text conversations I have with her and the guy talking about having babies that have timestamps on it, as well as post conversations we had with the matching timestamps showing all of our friends what she has done. I then have friends call and complain at her job constantly on both of them. They work at a restaurant, so I also have my friends dine and complain about their service. They both get fired. So she tries to call my command and tell them that I'm abandoning her and she can't provide for herself. My commander knows what is going on. He does nothing because he had something similar happen to him. Then, about a month before I come back, she calls me from another number to tell me she is pregnant with his kid.
Now remember, OP is still gone and they cannot get divorced yet. The wife moved away with the other man 10 hours from their city.
April 24, 2018. She calls me 5 months pregnant, crying uncontrollably, asking me where she should go. Apparently, they have a big argument and she tells him she is leaving. She says she doesn't know where to go, and I simply say, "Sorry, not my problem anymore." Fast forward to January of this year. She calls me from a mutual friend's phone. Her. "He hit me. I don't know what to do." Me. Maybe you don't cheat on your husband when he is deployed for some guy who talks a big game. Her. Well, I guess you are happy about this? Me. No, but I'm glad I know I'm not the bad guy in this story. And then the next month, her. He is cheating on me with 2 girls. I'm sorry. I regret everything I did. I f***ed it all up. Me? Yeah, you did.
All in all, this woman destroyed OP's life, put him into a deep depression which he is still dealing with.
But I do feel a little better having proof that I wasn't the problem. To think if this happened even 10 or 5 years ago, I would have come back to an empty bank account, an empty house, as well as seeing my then-wife pregnant with another man's baby. She actually called me up yesterday to ask for some money to help cover rent. Edit. This is to answer a few questions. I realized I left out, and that we got divorced before the kid was born. So I have no financial responsibility for her for almost a year now. I mainly used T-Mobile's digit service to clone the phone and not Google. I don't feel like typing it. Also, no, I wasn't celebrating that she was physically mistreated. I did tell her to call the cops, but that's all I did. It's not right to mistreat anyone, but I also have no responsibility to watch out for her well-being.
End of the first story. Well, OP, awesome revenge. Now that she's been cheated on, she knows what it feels like. Although I doubt that it is anywhere near as bad it was for you, given that you have been married for many years. It is satisfying to see that the person in question actually acknowledged the mess up. On the other hand, it might be just be her trying to sweet talk you so that you will give her money and stuff like that. I wish you all the best moving forward. Now, before we go to the second story, if you like the video so far, please give us a thumbs up so this video will reach more and more beautiful people like you. The second story is titled, She Confessed and Now We Are Done.
My wife and I have been married for almost 12 years. Like everyone else, our lives have been turned upside down, then put in a holding pattern for the last year. My wife has been hit especially hard. She lost her sales job a few months ago. I'm a day trader now, after working for a large investment company for years. I make a great living, but was stressed all the time, so I decided to use what I learned for myself. I work from home, so we were on top of each other quite a bit. This led to many arguments. Our marriage suffered. In March, my wife was called back to work in a new position, which I encouraged her to take. The position would require her to travel. She really did not like it after just a couple weeks. She hated not being home. I thought she had not given enough time to dislike it. We argued about it.
When they got married, OP was already doing well financially. He had the high 6 figures in the bank.
I had been burned in my first marriage by a cheating wife. I had no proof, but she moved on very quickly after the divorce. She received a windfall to settle the proceedings, so I insisted on a prenup for my second marriage with a generous payout if we split. There was a lot in there, but to keep this short, cheating on her part would break the prenup and her payout would be in 5 figures. Toward the end of March, she came home from a trip. Her personality was off. I asked if she was okay. She said everything was fine, but she hated her job. The next day, she said, "We need to talk." She told me she spent a night with another man. She explained the day was bad. The second client canceled on her, which threw her day off. She called her remaining contacts to move her appointments around. They were all okay with it. The guy that canceled called and said he could meet up after his workday.
She did not want this client to be upset, so she invited him to have a business dinner at the hotel she was staying in.
They were to meet in the bar for a drink and then grab dinner. She gets to the bar and orders her drink. She waits, and he is a no-show, no-call. She had left a couple messages. She ordered another drink. With her day starting out bad, was now ending as one. She did not grab lunch because of all the rearranging of her schedule. Her second drink hits her pretty good. A guy comes into the bar, gets his drink, and they start talking. He was in sales also, so they commiserate about how terrible some clients can be. She says she had no idea how many drinks she had. She remembers him walking her to the room, and she passes out. She wakes up to him stroking her hair as he was sitting up in the bed. One thing led to another. So, she confesses. I am brokenhearted. I am angry. Cheating is a deal breaker for me because of how my first marriage ended. I was not thinking of the prenup at this point. I told her I needed to think about what has happened. I left for a week. Monday, she was on the road again.
On Monday, OP made an appointment with his attorney for Tuesday.
We went over the prenup. He said, without proof, she would get the big payout if we divorced. My word against hers. I called her Tuesday night. I told her that I forgave her. I told her after thinking about it, I was turned on by it. I said, her being with another man excites me. She apologized again and said it would never happen again. I told her I wanted her to do it again, record it and send it to me. I would call her and take care of myself watching it. She giggled but said she might be able to work up to it, but don't count on it. This pleased her to think that I forgave her, but she had reservations about recording it. We talked about this new thing. I told her I never knew it was in me to think this way. On Wednesday, she calls me and asks if I wanted her to do this. I immediately said yes. She said if all goes well, I would get my wish. About 2 a.m. this morning, I received a recording of her having relations with some guy. I called her about 7 a.m. to thank her for the video. At 9 a.m., I asked the receptionist at my attorney's office if I could see him. I had something important for him to see.
End of the story. Well, OP, it's bad that you manipulated her to get the proof you needed to file for divorce. How could she not be suspicious about your request? I hope the divorce will go smoothly. I hope OP will give us an update soon. Thank you all for listening. Please like, comment and share the video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.